Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. And tonight's going to be a little bit different, as I am currently joined by Lost Without a Trace. I am joined by Ari Cypress Everly. I am joined by Morton56. Ace, we knew, would not be here tonight, and Great Main Gaming was a last-minute change, so he gets a pet rock. So, when last we met, what happened again? I don't remember.
Twiggy didn't know that
Luther got arrested.
Luther got arrested.
Right.
Maybe was a thing. I was being arrested for arms.
Twiggy went out and traded a steed salad for a new set of armor and the best dinner bell that has ever existed.
Yup.
And wigged us all out with it when she came back.
Yes, because I didn't tell you I was just going to put it up and
Charging
ring
through
it.
the building to find out what needed to die.
And Luther still has no idea that the bell exists, but you know that's not on his list of things he's currently worried about.
It's okay. Your list of worries grows by the day. Thanks for the Twiggy chaos. Yes.
Not even all Ace's fault.
Oh, it's amazing when they're not all Ace's fault.
Yeah, right?
I know, right?
I mean, he occasionally has to not be the one responsible.
But only occasionally.
It's
mean-
just to make you wonder.
Twiggy doesn't burn things
not
down.
good.
Twiggy has a healthy respect for fire.
For fire? I can't remember.
So-
He's not exactly resistant to fire, so she respects it quite
How
heartily.
does a walking, talking plant become a cook?
Desperation for
wilting.
social acceptance and knowing that the way to people's hearts is through their stomach.
I mean,
Fair.
to be fair, people aren't resistant to fire either.
That is true too.
And you know, Bacon and I can tell you that we have parts of our digits that we no longer have nerve endings in. You just get used to it.
Yeah, about that.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So I have my notes for what we're doing tonight.
You know,
Cool.
throw them all away.
And now I'm going to digitally crumple them all up
Gray threw them all
and
away.
throw them away because nothing really matters.
I mean, it really doesn't. Though,
Nothing
that's the thing.
ever matters.
I did just indulge in some
Anyone
of the
can
highlights
sing.
from the Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie on Netflix. I recommend it. Even if it's just for the soundtrack.
Well, just for that, just actually go listen to Queen.
Right?
Mhm.
I mean, it works for me. Anyway, so it is I want him over here.
This is in his study.
Like there's a desk over here and everything, so we'll just put
There
him right
is
there.
a desk. That looks great.
Okay, so, I mean, you can always blame me for a Queen soundtrack playing because that's just a thank you by another name.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't see an Adaya on the page.
I'm there.
Oh, there
She's
you are.
by the
Okay.
staircase.
I'm being very stealthy in my big metal shininess.
All of you hear, I wanted to check what her passive perception was. All of you hear a knock at the door.
Knock? Is that one here? Like,
Advantage for the
what
GM.
time?
Oh, thank you. The players will hit
What time
that.
of day is it? It's just midday, right? Or is it? I'm not Ace. I have no idea what hour it is.
We're going to
but-
say it's the next morning.
Okay. The next morning, people are showing up before breakfast.
Yes. Actually, no, we're going to say that it's still midday on the day that you were doing something, and then we'll just set something up for first thing in the morning. That works. Okay. All
Okay.
right, so you go to the door.
All right. We all go to the door. Yay!
Do you open the door,
I look
Luther,
through
or do you look through the thing?
I look through the thing.
Okay. You see the upper midriff of a very large mountain-born female.
Do I recognize this one from the the Sons of the Dragon? Do I remember?
That is correct.
That one.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Although I don't still have all my senses, do I remember which category was this one of the? No, the only ones that I remember checking were evil were the two with the weapons. I don't remember she was one. It was so long ago.
I would open the door.
Okay. Need to change a module setting real quick. There has got to be something wrong that this isn't staying. Like, I can't imagine that that's operating as intended, but okay. There we go. I make my image hover like as big as I can so that it shows up on stream easier.
Yes.
So, just a scotch over 7 foot tall mountain-born woman stands at the door. She has her axe, but it is currently backslung.
Is she carrying a red or anything else? You know, because that's my way of to ask for things now.
She does have a red flag in. She is carrying a red flag. However, she just has it like rolled and in her hand like a baton. Like she's not. It's like fuck with me if you want to. I don't care, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
They made me bring this. I don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
How can I help you?
I was hoping I could. You guys are like mercenaries, right?
Twiggy is like coming up behind you and everything, and proud hearing that, like, we are the Verdant Company. Yes, we is. We've got papers.
I would like to hire you to take a trip with me tomorrow, and then we will come back the day after.
Okay.
You're not sure if she's hesitant in speaking because she's being hesitant, if she's hesitant in speaking because Common isn't her first language, if she's hesitant in speaking because her IQ is right around Vanwath's. You just know that she is actually taking these long pauses in between words. It's not just a me thing.
Oh, all right. So then let's
Go with her.
Let's come inside. We'll have a talk about what you're looking to do. He's gonna let her in.
Okay.
She so myself. He'll say the password because off the top of my head I cannot remember.
That's okay. I just wanted to hear you say that much because I can't remember what it is either. But as long as you say that you did it, you did it.
Yep.
Okay.
He'll say the password so that she does, so the thing don't go off.
Right.
And we'll go down to the room here.
Okay.
I don't have a a desk set up specifically for guests.
It's still an entertaining room, so Twiggy is going to go all the way to the kitchen and grab a small plate of snacks and bring them back because what she does.
Snacks.
Because snacks. This is a mountain born, so I don't think I would have anything particular that I would think a mountain born would enjoy. But if I do have any, like, just nicely diced raw veg, I'm going to include that on the plate with some sliced sausage and a couple of pastries from this morning's breakfast.
Works for me.
That's whatever. Cool.
Works for her too.
Don't know why I thought about it that much, but you know what? It's Twiggy.
That's fine.
That sounds like Twiggy.
You hear Cass from across the base hurriedly scratching in a spell book. Doesn't even turn to yell in your direction, just kind of angles his head up to hopefully bounce it off the wall in the right direction. And he goes, Luther, who is it?
I will find out in just a moment. A potential customer, let's put it that way.
Customers are good.
All right. So Luther would actually, sit on the edge of the stage.
Yep.
Right there. As he's talking to her, and he would say, so now here's my question: where are we going, and what are you expecting us to do?
It would be going from here back to my home. It's in the mountains. It's Durzulkor. You remember Durzulkor being the mountain-born camp that was actually marked on the map as like the one just slightly north of the Valley Uta Pass.
It wasn't one of those spots on the map that were like, oh, you might find potential allies here, right?
It was not
That
one
was
of
the
those
swamp.
spots.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right. So this is kind of essentially this is an escort mission then?
Yes.
All right.
Because I don't want to travel alone. And she has an odd look on her face. Sons of the Dragon are my new family, and I'm going to visit original family, and don't really want
And the mix?
Yes, mix. Good word, mix. Don't want them to mix.
Okay. That sounds reasonable. So how much are we looking at getting paid for this round trip? And are we talking coin or are we talking barter?
I can barter, but I also have coin, and I can pay you. And as she's in the middle of talking, you just hear Cash yelling from the other room, Coin! Coin is good! We need more coin!
Find our magic addict.
I can pay you 400 gold for each person that comes with me.
All right, so that would be This is more than doing the mental math of 4, correct?
You do the month math of 4, and you're like, so that would be 1,600. And then Van Weth comes around the corner and goes, actually, why don't I stay here and make sure Cass doesn't burn the building down? And then you hear Cass yelling, I'm not going to burn anything down. I'm writing in a book. Right. So like I said,
Technology.
I'm going to wait here in case he burns the building down.
And,
Make sure
and-
nothing burns the building down. Make sure no unexpected visitors come around, because Cass is absolutely not going to make sure the visitors don't get greeted right.
I also forgot to mention that at the moment that the doorbell rang,
Lara changed into human form, Lara?
yep,
Okay, good.
Right.
Kadoosh. And she's like standing in the corner of the doorway of the room, but not actually in the room. But
Okay.
she is definitely, but she is in, in human guise, not no guys.
Natural fuzzy form.
Okay. Yeah. So that sounds reasonable. It would be me, Twiggy, and Adaya.
Okay.
And we can create a contract for this. Hey, Quill Pusher, got any paper? And as he
she-
starts walking towards the.
As you
and
walk
Melissa
towards
has
the
one.
door, she reaches behind herself and slices her hand open on the axe blade and just extends the her hand.
Oh,
to you.
One of those contracts. Okay. I guess I'm expected to do the same, huh? He would take off the gauntlets because you can't see them. So
He takes
knows
off
that
a he goes like this, and a glove appears in his hand because they're only invisible when worn.
Right. And he pulls out a dagger, he cuts his hand and then shakes hers. He knows what he's supposed to do here. And puts the glove back on over top of it. Now it just looks like his hand is cut anyway.
Yep.
And to the both of you silly people, Twiggy comes up with a roll of bandages and 2 boo-boo biscuits and goes, okay, here you go.
She's not bleeding anymore.
Yeah, she only bleeds for like a second.
That's nice. That's very good. You're good. You're silly. I look at Luther and I was like, right in your face. I'm not even handing it to you. I'm putting it at your mouth. Eat.
Putting it in your mouth.
She reaches into a belt pouch and pulls out 3 small, like softball-sized leather satchels,
Cool.
and like has them all just like palmed in one giant meaty hand,
Because she's large.
and just kind of like hands that over towards Luther.
Okay. Luther would take them. Is this what's in them? Or what's in one of them? I'm assuming I'm gonna.
It looks like money. It looks like gold.
Okay. All right. He would add them to his his gold stash.
Okay.
Speaking of gold stash,
That is 1,200 gold in
Yep.
gold.
That was what I was figuring it was. So, thinking on this, Luther is going to, specifically Morden is going to open up the Vanweth sheet and give Vanweth gold because Luther's not dumb enough to bring a freaking ton of money with it.
That is also
Or
smart.
leave it with Mr. I've
If you
got a-
want,
a
I can just
grocery
add it
list.
to the storage chest since we still can't figure out how to get you guys to be able to access the storage chest.
So is the money in here already? Is this money that you have, for lack of a better word, taken from Luther or am I just going to add what I have directly onto it? Like I just added the gold without thinking about it until just now because I'm like, I don't remember us having this extra platinum.
Does it duplicate the numbers that are on a different character? Or does it look like numbers that had been on a different character?
The silver looks like it might have been from my sheet before, because that does
Right.
look about right. But the other numbers off the top of my head do not.
You know what? I'm gonna say they're there. Like, worst case, you guys are getting a few extra 1,000 gold. That's not game breaking.
With the way Ace spends, that's not even,
Right.
what-
I mean, I'll come up with a way to charge you for something to get it back. It's not a big deal.
Gosh, yes. We'll actually have to buy armor or something again rather than make friends with a dwarf.
So she hands you the she hands you the bags and goes, so earlier is better for leaving because the trip might be long and we don't want to be still traveling in the mountains at night.
Okay, we leave pre-dawn? Before sun comes up?
Okay, I can be here then.
Okay.
Sounds
What you
good
like
to
for
me.
breakfast? You like the bacon? You like the sausage?
Yes, and also yes.
Okay. So you're gonna bring breakfast.
Okay.
Ooh, do you
Twinkie says
Ride?
bacon, and Luther just kind of scrunches his nose a little bit.
she can have your bacon. Did you ride? Are we going to need mounts?
I would not bring mounts into mountains. We may need to climb at
Okay.
points. And it is tougher to climb with horse.
Yes, I can bet that might be slightly problematic. Yep, and I am.
Okay. That's it. Just asking. If we
Okay.
do the foots, we do the foots.
Yes,
All right.
we should be foots.
We should be foots. Okie dokes.
All right. Seems like we have a deal, and we will be prepared to leave tomorrow before dawn.
Okay. I see you then. And she
Okay, bye.
Say the password before she walks through the circle.
Yep. You're like as you walk by password. And then she leaves.
Nick 2, Verata.
Nick
Exactly.
2, Ferrata. I said it.
I said it.
Maybe not every little syllable, but I said it.
All right. So it seems we've officially made a deal, and yeah, this is
So-
gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna be on a level with you two.
Uh-huh.
I'm not the best climber. This is gonna be fun.
Well, Twiggy now has the gloves that make the climbing much easier because if you're going straight up, you just grab it and go, wee! It's fun.
Yeah. I
But-
don't have those gloves. I have the other gloves that make it so I'm sneakier.
Yeah.
I just have to
turn-
find. I have to. I can kind of do a pull up. I mean, it might work. I might fall a couple 100 feet on the side of a mountain, but we'll see.
Oh.
I turn to Luther. Are you certain you're comfortable with the Sons of the Dragon seeing me? They have not seen me yet.
I am. There's no way you're not gonna get seen at some point, and making sure that you are associated with us is probably safest right now.
It will be
Just-
harder to avoid now that I can't disappear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopping inside, in and out of Cassidious's head does not work anymore. At least not without killing him.
Yeah, no killings.
Well,
It's
I'm
not
okay with
recommended.
killing. I'm okay with killing, just not of people I know or care about. Because I imagine we're going to be dealing with something that we're going to have to fight along the way, and killing those things is fine.
We should have asked what it is we will be helping her get through or from, because, I mean, there's lots of rumors about what's in the mountains. Actually, is one of the rumors about what's in the mountains. But yeah, she don't want to go alone, but she can't go by herself. Whoops.
So, is there anything? I mean, you guys have basically half a day's worth of downtime. Is there anything that you want to try to accomplish in the rest of the day before you sack off for morning?
Luther was going to use the paperwork that he had for offhands, see if he could unload some of the stuff that we've gotten.
Okay.
Sure.
Like, he's going to offhands.
But offhands is already closed for the day
Yeah. So
because
you
we
won't
are
have
mid-afternoon, and
That's
they are
right,
only
yeah.
open
Never
from noon to 2.
Never mind then. Then he won't be doing that.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, sort of, gathering all the stuff in one place with intention of doing that tomorrow.
At some point, I am talking to Cassidius, and I know we've already had this conversation off screen before we got here, because I was not going to be comfortable leaving.
Hmm.
But
And he's like, no, I'll be fine. I'm just going to sit here. And apparently Van Wath is going to sit here, and you go ahead and go and make 400 gold so that I can buy more scrolls.
yeah, I believe his other words was go, have fun, do human stuff.
Yeah, go have fun, do human stuff.
Something like that.
Go, have fun, be uncomfortable. That's what I'm hearing.
Basically, yeah.
Remember, you need to breathe and sleep.
Yeah,
What?
no, the Twiggy's just going to start prepping, prep a new set of spells, because it's a long rest between now and, stupid morning, and make sure I have supersized breakfast buns, just instead of chopping the sausage in like thirds, we just somehow have to make enough pastry to go around the whole thing.
Right.
So
you can either, because you had 2 of the biscuits planned for the for the Fountain View 5.
do my salads, yes, for
Yeah.
today's 2-level spells.
Right.
But since
You-
we have another contract,
Well, that I was about to say, your options are you can either use both of your second level spells tomorrow to finish that and deliver them on your way out, or leave them for Van Wath to drop off, or whichever. At which point you will have no second level spells. You can keep the 2 you have backburnered as 4 of your holdover points, or you could just drop back 10 and punt and need 2 more days to finish their order by not continuing to keep those in reserve, and just have extra points for any spells that you haven't used yet that you had available today. Basically, you have 3 different options of how you can spend your spells for your day of travel, is what I'm saying.
yeah, I'm just like, okay, both of my first level spells do have a cast as a second level spell for this increase. I'm just checking that out quick.
And
Okay.
also you have a +1 on the first thing that you do later, which
Okay,
will
cool, thank you.
probably be a athletics check.
Yeah, probably.
So, like, for instance, if you do the bigger boo-boo biscuits, it would be 2d8 plus your spellcasting modifier instead.
Yeah. And
If
you
did
could,
those at level 2.
yeah. So, I mean, there's advantages to all 3 options. So you just need to figure out what you want to do.
My first instinct is to say Twiggy would fulfill existing contracts first.
That's fine.
Before going on to second ones, just because, be thorough with that stuff.
Mhm.
So I would probably just finish what we're doing
Okay.
with those and going ahead for it. And then either, giving them to Vanwith to drop off or dropping them off on our way out.
Okay.
Probably giving them to Vanwith to drop off because it's stupid early.
Okay. That's fine. So then that will be available. So plot that into your planned spells for tomorrow.
Okay.
right? Like you won't have your two second level spell slots tomorrow, but that will complete that contract. And that was
Right.
how much were you getting paid for that?
3K,
think it
I
was-
think.
It was like 650 for each one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
and
like
then the next time we sell them, we were gonna our base rate was looking at trying to do 1,000 to 1,200 each.
Right.
So
Okay.
they were getting a major discount for helping us, and
Right.
as part of as part of helping us.
Okay. So then I am just going to put 3,000 gold into the storage chest because that's where Van Wath would put it when he brought it back.
We'll just get that out of the way now.
Luther would have, told Van West to tell them to apologize for, what happened with the wallmen, and after I get back, I will explain a little bit better as to what happened, unless Van West tries to do so, and in which case I will laugh but at the same time, still probably do it anyway.
Alright, so I think my spell list I would just do for my first level spells all cure wounds.
Okay.
And it's because I got a new cantrip with the green flame blade.
Nice.
So
I would love to see you make a booming blade biscuit.
it's just hot sauce. I just smear hot sauce on the spoon. It's
Makes it go boom.
it's why we're the Verdant Company.
It's ghost pepper chili spoon
What
now.
do they call it?
Yikes.
The Verdant sauce or something?
Yep.
Yeah, green chili.
Verdant Chili Sauce Company.
If I couldn't be a pickle, I'm gonna be a chili.
Okay. So that is taken care of. Everybody good to jump to morning?
Yes,
Yeah,
I've already
yeah.
been reminded to sleep, so
Yep. You've been forced to be tired. Okay.
Yeah, you were ordered to
I've been
rest up.
reminded,
So you've
I've
done.
been reminded to sleep. I've been reminded to take off my armor to sleep. Everyone nods like, yeah, been there, made that mistake.
Yeah,
Okay.
you wake up and you're
That's
like,
a large
why?
person
Why
was
is there
first
pain
of all,
right
yeah.
here?
Yeah,
Why
so-
is there pain? It doesn't move anymore. Crack.
I mean, medium armor, sometimes you can get away with it, but heavy armor,
Heavy? No,
it doesn't
You'll
work.
just be dead. It does not.
Gray and I can tell
No.
you, we've tried it.
Yeah.
I have fallen asleep with the plate mail.
Oh
Or-
God, it's
Yeah,
so bad when you
it-
accidentally
it's
fall asleep in
less than
plate
good.
mail and then wake up and realize that you're now just an armor tree because you'll never move again.
You'll never move.
Yeah, there's lots of
You can't
cracking
get-
involved, and
moving enough
please,
to get-
someone
get moving enough.
roll me out.
Stretch your joints and your muscles. Like you
Yep.
literally, you're stuck. It's
You're just,
terrible.
can't move. Someone
Like,
roll me
somebody
home.
lift my arms so I can start getting circulation back into them because I can't move them.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Oh.
Um,
it's just awful.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. We keep fast forward.
That's okay.
No worries.
So-
And Luther makes sure he's, up early and is as prepared as he possibly can, and, hoping that the wallmen don't show up saying that he burned something else down.
I don't burn anything else down.
Nope, you're probably good. Okay,
Hopefully.
morning arrives. And you hear another big heavy knock at the door. Ironically, sounding exactly like the big heavy knock from yesterday.
Luther would walk up and open the door because he assumes it's
Yep, it is the same female Goliath from before. Whose name you still don't know.
Yes, no, Twiggy was going to come around the corner with the hello, good morning, I have the breakfast. I am the Twiggy. Who are you called? I offer her one of the Twiggy has to use both hands to hold it.
Nice. I am Skull Smasher. And then she looks at the axe behind her and then goes, I used to use a club.
So Skull Splitter now. Okay,
Make a persuasion check.
Great.
Do it. Oh, it was so close to Dang, a crit!
Doesn't matter.
That's
It's
a
still a
19.
19. She goes, that works. That works really good. Yeah. I'm Skull Splitter.
And
So
she's really
funny.
happy now. And you're
I am the
welcome.
Twiggy.
I am Luther.
I guess that's when I will appear.
Yay.
Appearing.
All right. So the Twiggy has distributed the rations, correct?
Yes.
She's got.
What type of special food do we got this time?
Ooh, great question. Hold on.
Oh,
It is.
One that gives us bonuses to, climbing checks.
Oh hell yeah!
You
Uh-huh.
have spider climb food, please.
It's food of spider climbing.
You gotta. For some reason, it's red and
These
blue.
are special deep fried biscuits, which gives us a +1 to all ability scores and checks for strength, dex, and constitution.
You
That
have
should work
no
for
idea
everybody.
how valuable that's about to become.
It's okay. She said climbing. So they're beautifully crisp, and you crack it open, and it's just still warm on the inside. There's no soggy bottoms here. If anybody else is a fan of the Great British Bake Off, these are Paul Hollywood approved dumplings.
And what's in it?
They are stuffed with a variety of different, like, chopped up sausage and a couple of different herbs and things you get. Mostly dried stuff. There's not a lot of. I would have preferred to do a little fruit or something in there, but yeah, at best there's an onion or two. But it's a lot of sausage.
Sounds perfectly nauseating.
You're in a weird
That's not
position.
out loud, but that's
You're in a weird position, Adaya, because it smells appealing, but also it's eating, and eating is terrible.
And it
How
seems
do
to
you-
be eating a lot of things at once, already in a mutilated state, which sounds even weirder.
Oh, it's been like 3 days though, right? So
Yes.
I've noticed Adaya's not aversions to food and things.
Yes,
Right?
Adaya
'Cause-
has an aversion to everything mortal.
Thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
I just haven't gotten used to it yet.
She
even though
doesn't
you've
want to
been feeding me
eat.
for
She
3
doesn't want to
days.
sleep. She doesn't want to drink. She doesn't want to bathe. However, she refuses to be dirty.
All right, but for Adaya, if she's wants to keep things simple or is just one at a time things, I would have had prepared a set of almost raw but single things in single bites. Like this is these are his single bite carrot, single bite, cucumber, single bite
Okay.
things, anything else like that.
somehow that would be less weird. I don't know why, but I feel like it would be less weird if things were closer to just being like, oh, this is a plant and
Right.
it is apparently edible. I can put it in my mouth. Like,
Yes, yeah,
as
like
opposed
that.
to a mishmash of you.
That
you
works.
did do it. And
I'm totally down
Yeah.
with that.
I'm working her into very simple bread things. There
Yeah.
is a simple bread roll. There's not even butter on it. It's just bread.
right, which has in fact been so mutilated that I can no longer tell it was originally multiple ingredients because
Yeah.
they're so homogenized that I can't pick up on the
Yeah,
little.
one thing. The magic of baking.
Cool.
That seems like it would work.
All right, so you guys are all ready, and you have your stuffs,
Mm-hmm.
and
Hey,
so
Adaya, you've made sure to pack actual travel rations and water and such, right? Because I know you don't normally have to do that. But
I
I think Twiggy has
look
it
down
all.
at what I imagine I have is some sort of a bag that has been packed by probably Twiggy and
Yes.
possibly a little bit Gas.
you
Good.
also know that Twiggy has a jug which apparently can make 10 gallons of fresh water at a command. So,
Yes.
and mayonnaise.
or mayonnaise.
And mayonnaise.
Yes.
Or mayonnaise. Here, drink this. Oops, wrong one.
Trying to
Always-
pour. Oh, look, I want to pour wine for my guest. I've got it on the wrong setting. That nice little flute suddenly gets in mayonnaise.
Always remember, in worst case scenarios, mayonnaise is flame retardant.
It's true.
Fair.
Oh, so we can slap it
I'm-
all over us to run through the fire Gas just left somewhere.
Yes.
Oh God. I'm gonna put
Also, it's
the magic
probably
items in
pretty
the storage
nourishing if-
because I'm
Okay.
not taking those with me.
Go ahead. You can get into it, so I'm not worried about it. All right. So, the four of you set off nice and early in the morning. For chat, I have pulled up the map. For the rest of you, just bear with me. where they are heading is that where you guys are heading is Durzel Core, which is that first village that is just north of the Valley Uta Pass. I am assuming that no one in the party speaks Giant Tongue.
Absolutely do.
Really?
Yep.
Yes, Luther
Yep,
speaks.
Fucking hell. Okay.
He was singing in Giant.
That's
during the
right,
last
he
fight.
was. Okay, so you in fact understand, like,
Uh-huh.
okay,
I almost had the conversation with her in Giant because you said that, and then I went, I'm not, because I don't want her to know so I can actually understand
okay,
her.
yeah. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yes, core means either village or fort, interchangeably.
Probably
Basically,
means the same thing in Giant.
yeah, because in Giant, all places where populations live are military in nature, so
Right.
it more refers to the size.
Right.
And
I figured.
in this case, this size means somewhere between 20 and 80.
Small settlement.
Yeah, that's what core means. So,
That's what I figured.
so Luther immediately knows the size of where you're going.
This is not as small as I was going to expect. Got it.
It's the getting to and from.
What? I'm going to assume that you learned Giant from someone and thus might have picked up a little bit of Giant culture along the way. So give me a investigation check to try to remember. Okay, not bad.
13.
Because you probably would have learned from a Goliath. They're the most likely source for learning Giant in the area. Giant, Goliaths being mountain born. You know that generally in their naming conventions, you have a name that you're given at birth. And then when you become an adult, you are given an adult name by your chieftain when you do your naming ceremony.
Okay.
The birth name is usually something in Giant, and like is more of a person name, and then the adult name is the one that's the noun verber. Within the culture, if you know if you have been told a person's either name by the person, you have authority to use it. But like if you find out their birth name without them being the one that told it to you or having known them that long, it's generally considered a little bit of an offense to use it, because it's like you're using their child name when you didn't know them as a child, kind of thing.
Right.
Right. It's the idea of, if an elder walks up and calls them that, you don't also call them that.
Right. I mean, if it's something goofy, you can snicker, but yeah, using it is generally offensive, and offending a mountain-born generally results in a duel, and a duel with a mountain-born generally results in internal hemorrhaging.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of booby biscuits.
Yeah. I would be afraid of the internal hemorrhaging that axe would cause me. I'm sorry.
Right?
That's the kind of thing you would expect to be in a freaking giant's hands, not a normal-sized person's hands.
Yeah. Okay, so you all set off. If you check the map, it is not a 2-day trip. Okay. You are maybe 30, 35 miles from the core. Okay. So it's not going to take you, as the crow flies, it wouldn't be an entire day's worth of travel to get there. The problem is it's not all going to be flat.
Gotcha.
So what you're going to do is there will be times where we will make a series of athletic checks, and basically I'll be like, your difficulty is this, tell me how many attempts it takes you to get there.
Got it.
Okay.
Are we counting? Are we doing any serious failures?
No, because
Okay.
It's gonna be delayed.
basically we're assuming that she has enough enough rope to cable Luther to her, and while she probably could just pull you up the side of a mountain, she doesn't want to.
I mean, I can understand that. This character is not made for strength, so I understand. But
Right.
at the same time, I also understand as a person who has picked up other people before. It's not fun.
No, it's not.
So,
Especially when you're clinging on the side of a mountain face, potentially.
Yeah.
So we are now going to explain one of the most fundamental parts of this mountain range, and the reason why the value to pass is the only way you can get through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Every time you hit 10 athletic checks or 10 rounds of combat activity or any combination thereof, you will roll a survival check.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's gonna be the more unfortunate part.
Or you can choose to roll a constitution check. Your choice. Basically, one would be the skilled choice and one would be the unskilled choice, effectively.
So
Survival.
If you don't
Yes.
actually have the skill, what do you use for your bonus?
So, looking at your character, Ari, you would still use survival in this case because it would be
Because
the
my
better of the
system
two
has
options.
Yes.
Even. Yeah.
Because you basically have an 11. You have a +1, where in
Okay.
Constitution you have a plus nothing.
Okay, that's what I thought I was understanding that.
Right.
correctly.
And in fact, you will have a plus. No, you won't have a +2 because you would have a +1 either way. Either you're rolling on Constitution and using the Culomancer bonus to have a +1, or you're rolling on Survival and having a +1. Either way, you have a +1.
Okay.
So in your case, it does not matter either way. However,
Okay.
you will need to make a con/survival check. And if you fail, you will take a level of exhaustion.
Yay!
Gotcha. Because this is just
And this
crazy
is why
exhausted.
you don't travel through the mountains.
My exhaustion.
You slept
Does it start at 0?
Yes,
Okay, so mine should be at 0 right now.
it should be. I'll fix that.
I got it.
So,
Twiggy will be doing all survival checks. It's wisdom, and I'm trained in it.
yeah, you're
All
going to
right,
be
so
fine.
you've got that part.
Yeah, mine's a +7.
Okay.
Fortunately, I shouldn't need to do as many athletics checks per check.
Right.
True.
Per checkpoint. So, right.
Oop,
As long
another
as you're
+1
good
for
at
Morden.
either one, it helps a
All
little bit.
So we are going to get to the
Yay.
first part. If anybody wants to do any role play or discussion with
Skull Splitter.
with Skull Splitter on the distance from town or from Black Fortress to the edge of the mountains, that would be right now. You also notice as you leave the fortress, you remember that the dark, twilighty, never quite getting sunlight haze that was in this area used to meet you just pretty much on the other side of the gate for the pass. Remember? You realize as you are reaching the edge of as you are reaching the edge of the Black Fortress, that demarcation line is now inside the boundary of the fortress itself.
Well, it should
So
be
it's
one
receded?
non-speaker, right?
Yeah, it is. it has receded like 10 or 15 miles.
Lovely. And by that I mean actually. I mean in
Not
a way.
even
I've actually said
ironically.
it. Ironically.
Yes. So as you start to leave the town, you realize there's a point at which you're like, hey, there's light here. Now it's not as bright as the kingdom you came from, because that is, gamma turned all the way up, celestial land. But it is now what would be considered a normal level of light, which at least is not dark.
Man, as a thief, I should have burned while I was over there. Dang.
Yep.
So yeah, that might have been the tower go boomski, and now there's less evil sticky.
I do believe that sounds correct. So
Skull Splitter goes, I don't know. Line cloud layer never been in the fortress before.
yeah, that was there's an interesting story there.
Yeah.
It involves a knoll and a big ugly totem that needed to get smashed into pieces.
Oh,
Yeah. What was his name?
Oh,
Rat-
Nashclaw?
Dashclaw. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nashclaw was an interesting one, and he didn't last very long.
Nashclaw was
Nope.
big.
yes, he was. He
Dashclaw
couldn't
is not
hit
big
the
anymore.
broadside of the Black Fortress with those flails. I'll tell you that much. Now that I think about it, I really should have tried to see if we could take the flails or something from him as proof. I hadn't thought about it.
I mean, they were still there. They were no longer magical, but they existed.
Yeah, I assumed the triple-headed flail that he had would have been somewhat recognizable as his.
I mean, yes, it still would have been recognizable, even if not magical. It would have been a good, wall trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luther is sad
He's kicking
now.
himself for not having done that.
Mental note: trophies from now on from all kills.
Trophies from all kills like that, absolutely. That is going to be a thing from this point forward.
I mean, they're probably still sitting there, not for nothing.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong, but I also don't know if I really want to take the trip out there because I don't kind of have a horse. I have a riding mastiff, otherwise known as my pet. Give me
Otherwise
advantage.
known as a mastiff.
I'm working on it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you guys, you get to the edge of the mountains,
Yes.
and you have a bit of a path starting to lean in. You can probably make it about maybe another 5 miles or so before you get to the first spot where the only way to go through the mountains is to climb.
Okie dokie.
For this, I will need 3 athletic checks. Your
Right.
difficulty is only 12. So your difficulty is only 10. So the number isn't. So the difficulty is not nearly as important as the fact that this is your first 3 checks.
We each have to do it 3 times, right? Not
You
one
each
from
must
each of us?
You each must get 3
No!
successes.
Ordnance,
okay.
stop failing.
So I have 2 passes and a failure of a 1.
So make another check.
You
That'll be
said 10? 10? Does a 10 pass or
A
does
10
a 10 not?
passes. A 10
Okay,
passes.
good. I barely made
Okay,
it.
I still failed. I go again.
So you go again. You go until you
Okay.
pass.
Twiggy passed everything.
So
Tw-
that's
Failed again. That's only an
5.
8.
Yep. 6.
6. Yep.
Oh,
You are dangerously close to being fatigued already. You're like, the mountains, these are rough. She hasn't made any checks.
No.
No,
No,
she just
she
walked
hasn't.
up it like it's no
So-
problem.
I have a question. I mean, I
Okay.
don't know whether we'd understand this in game or not anyway, but you said, or for adding to every round of combat, what if you don't participate? What if, like, you sit it out?
Your adrenaline still spikes and there's no oxygen.
Okay. Okay.
That's literally what it comes down to is if you are involved in combat, your adrenaline is spiking and there's no oxygen because the mountains are that steep and they're that high. So you just can't breathe.
We're dealing with possible elevation sickness here, so.
That's exactly what it is.
And for Adaya, this is actually probably going to be the first combat she's been in since her mortal body.
Uh-huh.
So that's going to be a
breathing is
whole
suffocating.
different problem.
Yep.
The
So
whole breathing thing feels like suffocation because, like, having to fight to inhale, it's just like, it's overwhelming to begin with.
So I will point out that Goliaths have an ability called Mountain Born. They are resistant to cold damage and are also naturally acclimate to high altitudes, even if they've never been to them. So this includes, and it specifically says this includes elevations above 20,000 feet, which is where you get oxygen deprivation sickness. Nuturant Tomb, thank you very much for the follow.
I just noticed that Twiggy has her new armor in her little corner picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is 3 checks, 3 checks, and 6 checks.
6 checks. It's okay, guys. I'll make it. 2 hours later. Just leave me on the side of the ledge. I'm fine.
Dig a hole, hide you in it, we'll come back.
Ooh.
Yes, I got maps. Hold on.
Ooh, Matt.
Yes, you do.
Oh, look at that. It's Mountain Pass 1.
Yes. How many mountain passes do we have? More than one.
Obviously, or you wouldn't have bothered to put 1.
Ah.
Hold on. I need to change someone's name.
Yes,
Oh.
you do.
Yes, you do, because I have persuaded her to change her name.
Renamed. It's awesome.
Luther's offhand combat suddenly becomes a new name.
Congratulations, you just named a giant.
Giantess. And now I gotta hope I can keep up here because I'm gonna be huffing and puffing and falling over.
Oh yeah. We're gonna put you.
All over.
We're gonna put you in the back line.
I should have brought picklers just to have you write pickles.
Yep, you're right.
Oh look, stairs! Yay! Hey, why is there stairs in the mountain?
So that you
people
don't
walk
have to
on
make
them.
as many athletic checks.
See, wasn't that
okay.
nice with people?
Each of you please roll me a d6.
Roll a
Sure.
d6.
D6.
3.
4.
2. Okay.
Hey, we're in a row.
I don't want anything that big. This delay is because I have to change all of my planned encounters.
Oh.
Frank's fault.
Yeah. You see, and I'm going to put them someplace where you can actually see them, because you in fact do see. You're not sure what else is there from this angle, but you do see that walking up on this ledge, there appears to be a squat, dark gray-skinned, like dwarven individual. That one doesn't look quite like a dwarf because that one is female, for the record. They are bearded.
Interesting. And what if we were to try, see if we remember hearing anything about them or anything like that? Or what kind of knowledge checks? If
I
we
go
have
with
one?
investigation, I guess.
No, nothing.
That's a no.
Be nature or anything, or just investigation?
It would not be nature.
Okay.
Nor would it be religion. So that's why I'm going with investigation.
Only a 10. Probably not.
You and Adaya are fine. You don't know what specifically, like, beyond this it is, but you believe it to be a Durgar, which are bad dwarves.
Dwarves?
Bad dwarves.
Could you specify what kind of bad?
Can you please explain the nature of your bad?
I mean, that could mean
They
a
are-
couple.
You have two kinds of dwarves, basically. You have regular dwarves who live in the mountains of the world. And then you have Durgar, or deep dwarves, who come up from the Underdark. They are basically dwarf clans that were banished from the dwarf homes centuries ago.
So even the dwarves think they have bad manners, is what you're saying.
Yes.
That is
If you go, drow is to elf as
okay.
Durgar is to dwarf.
Got it.
Okay. So these guys is gonna... Well, not friendlies. Nope. Mm-mm.
Now, he has not seen you, and all of you have seen him.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to end there.
Oh, no.
Yay! So, if you're watching this on YouTube, please be a good werewolf, like and subscribe. Other than that, if you're watching on Twitch, hang around because we're going to move on to part 2 in just a second. And I want to thank Lost Without a Trace, Ari Cypress Everly, and More Than 56 for being here. I'm not going to thank Scorched Ace or Greymane, but I'll bring them up
Not
anyway.
being here.
Yes. So thank you all very much for being here. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you want to watch these live, we do these every Tuesday on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern. We have another campaign that runs on Thursdays, 7 p.m. And then we have on Saturdays, we have one-shots that we run. So if you want to see any of these things, stop by, say hi, tell us you saw us on YouTube, because we love seeing people come in. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope this has been fun. And we are going to do Crazy Waves, and then we will see you next time. Bye!